Morning, guys. We'll start with new standard today. Ind AS 115, revenue from contract with customers. It's there in page number 95 in your main handout, main book. Found it? Page number 95, Ind AS 115, revenue from contract with customers. Start பண்ணலாமா? Okay. In your CA intermediate, you studied accounting standard 7. That was construction contract. And you studied accounting standard 9. That was revenue recognition. Now these two have been merged and you formed Ind AS 115, revenue from contract with customers. Alright. Earlier these two, even in Ind AS, these two were separated. Okay. Now this has been amended and you have bought in the combined standard. Okay. Alright. So that is the overview. Can we start with the standard? So basically we are trying to recognize the revenue. What are the things we should consider while recognizing the revenue from any particular contract? This revenue recognition has 5 steps, sir. Simple. You test for 5 steps and accordingly recognize the revenue. That's all the standard says. Okay. First step is to identify the contract. First step, identifying the contract. Second step, identifying performance obligation. Third step, identifying transaction price or determining transaction price. Fourth step, allocating the transaction price to the performance obligation. Last step, recognize the revenue if a performance obligation is satisfied. Throughout the standard, we'll only be dealing with these 5 steps. Okay, if you determine these 5 steps, a revenue can be recognized. As simple as that. Are we okay? Anything you understood? No, we understood that there are 5 steps. You have to follow 5 steps. Correct? That much has come. Okay. One disclaimer before I start this standard. Okay. See, normally what happens is revenue recognition standard. Revenue recognition means the moment we hear revenue recognition, we start thinking about journal entry. So if this happens means what is the journal entry? That happens means what is the journal entry? Okay. Here, journal entry is in the last step, sir. Recognizing the revenue means you're passing journal entry and recognizing. But before step 5, there are 4 other steps. So for this particular standard, my suggestion to you is whatever I'm saying, restrict your thinking only to that. When I'm talking about step 1, don't worry about journal entries. Because when I'm asking step 1, if you ask me journal entry wala query, then I'll have to answer step 5. Step 5 ka answer. But for me, from step 1, if I have to go to step 5, I have to incorporate 2, 3, 4 also. So by incorporating 2, 3, 4, I'll give the answer. But you don't know what step 2, 3, 4 says. Then it will lead to confusion. Fair enough? Hence, for this standard, since there are many concepts here, that's the reason I'm saying, whatever I'm saying in step 1, restrict yourself. The standard is like a journey. It's like you're going from Bengaluru to Goa. Go Goa. Okay? So if you're constantly thinking about Goa beaches when you sat in Bangalore car only, then you'll miss the drive between Bangalore to Goa. Fair enough? So it's like a scenic drive. So let's enjoy the scenic drive along the way. Fair enough? So let's restrict it that way. So that things will go a little easily. Fair enough? And one more disclaimer. Yes, this standard is quite big and it will test your memory skills in a big way. A lot of concepts will come. You'll have to remember a lot of things. Hence, we will go a little slow. Aram se we'll cover everything. We'll not leave anything. Fair enough? We'll make sure that everything we learn in the class itself. Done? Okay with the disclaimer? Can we start? Okay, so you saw the steps now? You got to remember it anyways. First step is what? Identifying the contract. Second, identifying the performance obligation. Third one, determining the transaction price. Fourth one, allocating transaction price to the performance obligation. Last step, recognize the revenue if performance obligations are satisfied. Done now? Fine. Sir, still didn't come, sir. No problem. These steps only we're going to learn. So can we start with step number 1? What is step number 1? Identifying the contract. That means for you, before you go into revenue or recognition, first you have to find out whether there is any contract. If there is a contract, then you will think about revenue recognition. That means what do we need to know now? So what is a contract? Correct? So contract they've defined. Contract means it's an agreement between 2 or more parties. It's an agreement between 2 or more parties that creates enforceable rights and obligations. You got to remember the definition here. Every component you have to remember here, guys, because you'll be given case study wala questions. Fair enough. So case study means you have to remember the concepts and use the same words as given, and the key words in the concept should come in. So that's the reason I'm saying this standard will test your memory skills a little bit. Fair enough. So contract means what? Hence, we will also make sure that we will repeat it quite a few times. Don't get bogged down by it. Hey, yes sir, okay. The intention is, my funda is very simple, sir. You have paid the fees. You have taken my class. Fair enough. I want you to learn each and everything in the class itself. Be it theory, problems, doesn't matter. We give equal importance to everything. If theory means we will learn theory also in the class only. If it is problem chapter means all the problems we'll do in the class and make sure we learn it in the class only. Going home, we should only revise. That is my funda. That is the reason even theory also will give same importance. Fair enough? Everything we want to learn in the class. That is the whole funda of it. Fine? Yeah. So again, what is a contract? Contract means there'll be 2 or more parties involved in a contract. Fair enough? And that contract should create enforceable rights and obligation. That is the keyword. Contract should create enforceable rights and obligation. Let's take a simple example. A Limited sold goods, or A and B Limited got into a particular arrangement. What the arrangement says is, A has to supply goods to B. Goods worth 10,000 to B. Correct? That means B, and in return B has to give cash to A. Fine? And this goods will be supplied after 1 month. Or maybe let's keep it straightforward. We'll supply goods today. We will collect cash today. That is the arrangement. Are we okay? Is this a contract? Let's analyze the definition. What does a contract mean? Contract is an agreement between 2 or more parties. Correct? These 2 guys have agreed upon. And that agreement should create what? Enforceable rights and obligation. So what is the rights here, sir? Can you tell me here? What is the rights? What is the right of A? Right of A is to collect cash. Correct? What is the right of B, sir? To collect goods. Correct? These are the rights. What is the obligation here? What is the obligation here? A has an obligation to deliver goods. A has an obligation to deliver the goods. And B has an obligation to deliver or to pay cash. Correct? That means what? They have agreed. Correct? They have agreed upon certain things, and it is creating enforceable rights and obligation. Enforceable means what?
You can legally.
You can legally, if any of the party backs out, legally, it should stand the court ka test. Legally, A should be able to claim that money back, or B should be able to claim that goods back. Fair enough? So that is a contract. If this is there, means we call it as a contract. Only if contract is there, then only we proceed with revenue recognition. Does it mean contract has to be in writing? Not necessarily. We have studied contract would be in oral or written, but there's necessity that it should be a contract. Again, can we redefine the contract now? Yes. Contract means what? It's an agreement between 2 or more parties that creates enforceable rights and obligation. If this is there, it is a contract. Done?
Yeah.
So that's the first definition. Clear?
Yeah.
So if you want to call a contract, no, ARPCC should be satisfied. If there is a contract, means there has to be 5 conditions that has to be satisfied, which we'll call it as ARPCC. Dana? Now what is that? Sir, what is A? What is R? What is PCC? Correct? So A means the party should have approved. The parties in the contract should have agreed or should have approved the terms of the contract. There'll be some terms in the contract, no? You have to deliver the goods today. You have to pay me the cash within 1 month. Like this, there'll be terms.
Yeah.
So both the parties should have been approved to the terms of the contract. Fair enough? And both the parties should agree that they will honor their performance obligation. They will honor their obligation. Basically, obligation is what here? In my example, A has an obligation to deliver goods. B has an obligation to pay cash. They have to agree to this. Basically, the terms of the contract they should approve or agree to. That is first one. Is it okay? A?
Yeah.
Second one is what? R. Correct? R means the rights. Each party should identify the rights with respect to goods and services. What is each particular right should be clearly able to identify. Manageable or am I going fast?
Understood.
Understood. They will give you a case, sir. So you have to write contractor definition and these 5 features and then only conclude. Hence, I am giving you each and everything. Fine? First is what? Party should have agreed to the terms. Correct? No?
Yeah.
Second one is what? Each party should identify the rights in the contract with respect to goods and service. Correct?
Yeah.
Next is what? P. P means what? Payment terms. Contract means obviously there'll be some payment terms.
Yeah.
Each party should agree or should know about the payment terms associated with the contract or associated with goods and services. A, R, P, C. C means the contract should have a commercial substance. This we have studied already. What does commercial substance mean?
That means
There must be some change in the cash flow.
Yeah.
Correct? The risk, the timing, and the amount of cash flow should change because of the contract. Correct?
Yeah.
Now here, check this contract, sir. Does this contract have commercial substance? Yes. Correct. No. A is doing what here? He's giving goods and he's getting cash.
Yeah.
Will goods and cash have the same value, sir?
No.
Goods ka value may be 10,000 today. Tomorrow it may become 8,000 or it may become 15,000.
Yeah.
That means because of this contract, A ka cash flow is changing, can I say?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
Similarly, B. B is giving cash and is getting goods. Is goods and cash same? Is goods ka cash flow and cash ka cash flow is same or different, sir? They are different. That means this contract has a commercial substance. Got it? Sir, when can it not have a commercial substance? Sir, exchange of goods. A told, take my goods. You give me your goods. You remember that land example, Vastu problem we gave in India 16 PP? Land.
Yeah.
There was a commercial. 30-40 site was there. Correct? Your site I took. My site you took. Correct? The transaction does not have commercial substance, we said, because their value was same. Like that. If you are exchanging the goods which are more or less, which are substantially same, or if they have same characteristics, then the transaction lacks commercial substance. Get it?
Only if I exchange same goods, no, sir?
Only if you exchange same characteristic of goods. Correct? If you are exchanging goods 1 with goods 2 and goods 1 have different features and different usage, goods 2 have different usage and different features, then the transaction has commercial substance. Fair enough? Commercial substance means what? If the cash flow, the risk, timing and amount of cash flow is changing, means we say transaction has commercial substance. If it is same, means we say transaction lacks commercial substance. We already studied this when we did India 16 and 38. Correct? No? Same thing. For you to call a contract, here the transaction should have commercial substance. Meaning the risk, timing and amount of cash flow should change because of this contract. Fine now? So A, R, P, C we covered. Last C is the consideration. So by entering into this contract, A is getting some money.
Yeah.
How much is that? 10,000.
Yeah.
A should be substantially sure that he will collect the money. Consideration collection. You studied this in AS 9 also. Consideration should be highly probable, or it should be highly possible. You used to write, no? Correct there.
Yeah.
Same here also. Correct? The consideration, you should be reasonably sure that you will be able to collect it. Last C is for consideration collection, or substantial collection of the consideration, you could say. Then, if all these 5 terms are there, then we call it as a contract. If it is missing, sorry, then it is not a contract. Then you can't apply Ind AS 115 for it. Because the very first step is contract identification. So far, good. So far, good. Just give me a quick recap. Like this, we'll keep recapping so that, like, we learn this in the class itself. Okay? Contract means what? It's an agreement between 2 or more parties which creates enforceable rights and enforceable obligation. And contract means it should satisfy 5 features. All the 5 features. One is that we calling it as ARPCC. A means the party should agree to the terms and conditions of the contract. Correct? And also each of them should know what is their performance obligation or what is their obligation. Correct? That is A. R is what? Obligation came. Next is what? Rights. So each party should know the rights associated with goods and service. That is R. Correct? P means what? P means what? The payment terms. The payment terms associated with the contract also you should clearly able to identify. Correct? C is for the contract should have commercial substance. Meaning the cash flow, the risk, the timing and amount of cash flow because of the contract should change. Last one is what? Collection. Substantial. You should be substantially sure that you will collect all the consideration associated with the contract. Fine now. So if you say this, then we say contract definition is satisfied. This is your first step. Can I go for the second step or the next pointer?
Yeah.
Contract term. Contract term means what, sir?
Term is the period for which the contract.
The period. Normally each contract will have some terminology. I mean, will have some period. Correct? No. That period mentioned in the contract, we call it as contract term. Yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
But sometimes the period mentioned in the contract may not be the contract term. Contract term could be lesser.
Okay.
Like we'll take the question number 1 itself. Okay, I'll repeat the wordings for the time being and we'll test it through question number 1. What did I say?
It could
Normally
be
in a
like
contract they'll mention that
period.
period, correct? That period only we treat it as contract term. But in some cases the period mentioned in the contract need not be contract term. It could be lesser is what I'm saying. Yes? Can we test an example or can we do question number 1? How this is true? Can we read question number 1? Okay, come to question number 1 then. A gymnasium enters into a contract with a new member to provide access to gym for 12 months. Okay? So underline 12 month. Why am I making underline 12 month?
That should be the contract.
That is the term mentioned in the contract. So that means ideally that should be the contract term
Yeah.
at 4,500 rupees per month. Yes? Now look at the next line, that is important. A member can cancel his or her membership without penalty after 3 months. If he wants, member can cancel the membership anytime after 3 months and no penalty. Straight away he can walk off. Now you tell me is the contract for 12 months. Don't think logically. Don't apply your funda. Okay? Go back to the contract definition. What does the contract definition means? It's an agreement between 2 or more parties which creates enforceable rights and obligation. Correct?
Yeah.
Now let's say we are in 4th month. Correct? Let's look at the right. Customer did not pay 4th month ka fees. After 3rd month he stopped paying gym ka membership fees. Does he have the right to access gym?
No.
No. Correct? And does the gym owner have the right to collect cash?
No.
Because you clearly told in the contract that after 4 months anyone can back away. Customer can easily back away without penalty. I mean, is the right there in the 4th month onwards? You tell me now. Right there in the 4th month without paying fees, do you have the right?
No.
No. How about obligation? What will be a obligation? Or rather gym customer ka obligation is what? To pay.
Yes.
After 4 months, does the customer have obligation to pay? Or if he wants, he'll pay, or otherwise no. Yes or no? I mean, no obligation to pay also is there.
Yeah.
I mean, and what is the normal obligation of gym owner?
To provide the service.
He provide a service. Gym access he has to give.
Hmm.
If customer does not pay the 4th month ka fees, does the gym owner have any obligation to give him the access to the gym? No. That means what? After 3rd month, there is no enforceable rights and obligation.
Yeah.
Correct? That means what? Here the contract term is only 3 months. That's what I meant. Normally the period mentioned in the contract is the contract term. But sometimes it could also be lesser. Fair enough? So the main criteria to determine the contract term is to check for how long do we have enforceable rights and obligation. If enforceable rights and obligation is there for 12 months means 12 months becomes your contract term. If it is only there for 4 months means or 3 months means your contract term will only be for 3 months. Understood this, huh? Like this you will get small concepts and small case studies. This is all is your revenue recognition. Done? You don't have big fancy problems here. Very less number of such questions there. All are these sort of concepts. Okay? So hence I think you'll have to remember quite a few concepts here. Good enough so far?
So contract term, can you simplify and give us a word?
Contract term, that's what, like if, or you can write this only, if customer can cancel the contract without penalty, then contract term could be lesser. Write like that.
Okay.
If customer, or you can write if any party in the contract can cancel the contract without paying penalty, or penalty is nominal amount, then contract term could be lesser. This is okay?
Okay.
If any of them can cancel without any penalty. Sir, if they're told penalty is there, it seems here, sir. Suppose in the same contract, the gym owner said, if you want to cancel, no, you have to pay me 4 months gym ka rent as penalty. Now you tell, will he cancel? Now he will say, Ayyo, karma kanda. If I cancel after 3 months, I have to pay 4 months ka penalty. That is huge. Correct or no? Let the contract go. Correct? That
So
means
what we went
you
on-
have to do substance over form accounting here.
in 7
Substance.
months.
Then you will, like, if you feel like, let it go for 7 months and then I'll cancel, then you can account it for 7 months. You have to do a reasonable expectation there. But ideally, I would say contract term will be 12 months in that case.
Anyways, I get 7 months revenue.
Anyway, don't worry about revenue again. See, that is a mistake. Revenue recognition will not. Don't worry about journal entry. Fair enough. How much I should recognize the revenue? That is not the point at all, because we are in which step? Step number 1. Revenue recognition is last step. When to recognize the revenue? Should I recognize the revenue 4,000 every month? Or once after 3 months? Or after 12 months? That is the last step, Kafanda. Let's not go there. Wherever it is required, I'll give you the journal entry and revenue part. Fair enough? You just stick only for this point for the time being. Did you get it? Did you get what I meant earlier? Because this happens. Naturally, it comes to us. Because we have learnt it that way, no? The moment we see such contract, no, for us, the head in our mind automatically runs a journal entry as to revenue as to what we should do, correct? So doing that could bring in a little confusion for this topic. Yes? Yeah. So you'll have to do substance over form accounting. Done?
Yeah.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
So, but the funda is what? Contract term need not be the period mentioned in the contract. It could be lesser also. Fine? Generally, it could be lesser when there is when any party can cancel the contract without paying much penalty. Or if the penalty is very nominal. He told pay 100 rupees penalty.
Then it is. The agreement says anytime any party can.
That's what I told. No? Any party can cancel the contract. Or you mean to say initially only? Initially only they enter into a contract saying anytime you want you can cancel. Substance over form accounting.
Okay.
You'll have to just check your reasonable contracts. You have to compare it with other contract. See normally how much it goes for. Then do the accounting. Fair enough? Accounting, don't worry. Because accounting you will do only when you start. Okay, since you've asked maybe. And that's what I told you should not do. But still, since you've asked, I'll tell you. Accounting you will do only, you can recognize the revenue only when performance obligation is satisfied. Here performance obligation means what? You should provide him the gym access for 1 month. After 1 month only you can recognize the revenue. If on the first day only if he cancels the contract. He entered on the first day. Second day he cancelled means no revenue recognition. Because performance obligations are not satisfied. Or if you say let's say we charge 200 rupees. Because you access 2 days. Give me 200 rupees. Then you will book the revenue only of 200 rupees. That is the last step. Fine? So don't worry about accounting. Since you asked now, I mentioned this. Fine, huh? But that comes in the last pointer. Between me, there are a lot of things you should consider. So let's not worry about revenue.
Not the accounting, sir. So only the term, okay. So if I'm paying like prepaid some bill, phone bill or something, like Jio and all we paid.
It is done. It is done. Come, it will come. Just the party started. Okay, this is, if you just check the study material, it's 110 page ka study material, standard.
Okay.
Quite all, whatever you're thinking, everything is incorporated. Don't worry. But we will not study all that now. We've just started. There are certain concepts. Wherever that concept comes, your prepaid, everything will come. Activation charges, everything will come. How to recognize, we'll see later. It'll come. Don't worry. If you feel like, my doubt may not be answered, write it down. Fair enough? After step 5, still if you feel it is unanswered, ask me. We'll take it up. But most probably, all the doubts that you're thinking, everything will get covered. It's a beautifully thought out standard. You would have not even imagined that so much is there. Okay, so they've thought about almost, I felt really good when I read the standard. Saying actually the one who made it, you are able to think so much and kind of incorporate this. That's what I felt. Maybe you'll get the same feel. You never know. Let's see. Yeah. Anyway, sir, goli beda. Shuru madi. Okay, fine. Question number 1 over.
Yeah.
So funda of question number 1 is what now? Here the contract term is not 12 months. It is only 3 months.
3 months.
Got it?
Yeah.
Can I move on to the next?
Yes.
Next portion. Combining contracts. Combining contracts. Combining contracts means, what does it mean? There are 2 contracts. You are thinking, should I combine them and make it as one, or should I treat them as separate? In AS7, you learned it as segmenting. If you remember construction contracts, in IPCC or CA Inter, there was something known as segmenting. Maybe you've forgotten. So it is something of that regard. Fine now? Okay, so combining contracts means simple thing. 2 or more contracts, should I combine and treat it as one, or should I treat it as separate contract as a funda? There are 2 contracts. Should I merge and account it as one, or should I keep it separately and do separate revenue recognition principles? Fine?
Okay.
Here, there are again, actually I could say 2 plus 3, 5 conditions. 2 plus 3, 5 conditions. If they are satisfied, then you could combine. Otherwise, no. So, I'll tell that once again vaguely. You can combine 2 or more contracts, provided if it is entered with the same customer. at the same time. Two condition is what? At the same customer, nearly at the same time, and any of the following, and any one of the following. One, if you want to combine, the two contract conditions should be compulsory fulfilled. One is what? It should be entered with the same customer and with the and nearly at the same time.
Yeah.
These two, and one of the following three conditions. 2 plus 1 offer. Fair enough. If these is satisfied, then you can combine. Otherwise, no. Can we go? What is that one now? Plus 1 offer.
Yeah.
A plus 1 offer is it should be negotiated as a package with single commercial objective. Package negotiation.
Okay.
Can write in simple terms is package negotiation with same monetary objective. Or remember the same word, with same commercial objective. Point number 2 is price dependency. Price dependency of on each other. Or price dependency of each other. Third one, single PO. Single performance obligation. If any of these are satisfied, okay? Actually, this is not 1, 2, 3. This is what? 3, 4, 5. What was 1, 2, 3? One is must be entered with the same customer and nearly at the same time.
Yeah.
What is nearly at the same time? They have not defined. Common sense. Nearly at the same time could be like maybe within 1 day or within 1 week, something of that sort. Fine, they have not defined any time frame for that. Common sense there. Okay. If this plus any of this is satisfied, then you could combine the contract. Otherwise, no. Okay, now. Okay. Already started yawning. Ayyo, esto theory sir anta. Don't worry. So initially little dry it will be. I agree with that. But later on things are going to pick up for sure. Fine. But these are also important. These are asked. Hence, no chance from my end. Okay. See, always it is easy for me also. Even I could say, I can just read over and say it is common sense, no use. But I don't want you to do that. Fine. Let's do everything off in the class itself. So again, what are the 5 things, sir? What is the funda first of all? What are we trying to look at? There are multiple contracts. We are trying to see whether they can be combined and treated as one or should be treated separately. For that, there are 5 conditions they told. 1, it should be entered with the same customer nearly at the same time.
Yeah.
Third one is what? Package negotiation with same commercial objective. Fourth one is price dependency of each other. And fifth one is single performance obligation. I think first 2 condition is okay.
So, yeah.
2 contracts you are entering with the same customer. See, if you are entering with different customers, can you combine, sir?
No.
A Limited is entering one contract with X Limited, another contract with Z Limited. Can they combine? No, obviously no. So that means you have to enter with the same customer and nearly at the same time. One contract you entered in the month of April, another contract you are entering in the month of September. Can we combine these 2? Doesn't make sense, correct? So it should be at the same time. First 2 I think is okay. Yes. Third one, what are they saying? What have I written? You are copying something, is it?
Negotiated as a package.
Negotiated as a package. That means what? Contract 1 and contract 2, no, you have not negotiated separately. You have negotiated them together with the same commercial objective. Same commercial objective means with one monetary objective. Fair enough. Like when you go for internet connection and all, what will he say? If you take for 1 month, 5,000 rupees, 1,500 rupees is a monthly connection. But if you opt for 6 months, I will give 1 month rent for free, or I will make sure that it's not 1,500. I'll give you at 1,200. Correct? That means what? Here you are actually entering into. He's forcing you to enter into 2 contracts. Correct? Yeah. Your mindset is I'll take for only 2 months. But he told if you take for 4 months, I will give something. I'll give it at lesser price. Yeah. Correct? That means that should be the intention of entering in the contract. That's what we mean by commercial objective. Those things that can normally go hand in hand, only that should be merged. Fair enough? Any random things you should not merge and say you have same commercial objective. Fair enough, no? Correct? Only those goods which have similar characteristics you merge. Correct, no sir? A new machinery is there. A new machinery ka spare part you bought together. Correct? There is a company, they bought a new machinery. Okay? That machinery has many spare parts. Fair enough? One spare part was bought it.
Okay.
So now can we, the machinery is one, correct? And spare part is another one,
Yeah.
correct? So now these two, they are merged. Can we treat it as one contract or multiple contract?
Just take
Machinery and machinery part normally go hand in hand. Yes or no? Yes. That means here what? It's entered with the same customer nearly at the same time. Correct? And you have negotiated them as a package. If you have negotiated them as a package with same commercial objective, then you can combine. Yes or no? But modifying the same example. Machinery A, correct? You bought machinery A and you bought machinery Z ka parts. Machinery A is used for one purpose. Fair enough? Machinery Z for other purpose. Correct? Same customer. He's buying machinery A also. And he's buying machinery, what part? What ka part? Another machinery, which is machinery Z ka part. Now, do you think they have same commercial objective, sir?
No.
No, because normally they don't go hand in hand. That's what you need to check. So only those things which normally go hand in hand, you have to combine. Matlab, they can have a same commercial objective. Fine, no? Is it okay? Any confusion? So third point is clear?
Yeah.
You should have negotiated as a package with same commercial objective. Remember this line, this is important. Alright. Next is what? Price dependency. Price dependency means what? Price dependency means what, sir? If you buy contract 1, the charge is 1 lakh. Okay. If you buy contract number 2, the charge is 50,000. But if you buy both, if you do contract 1 plus contract 2, if you buy, I'm going to give you 1.3 lakhs. Correct? That means what?
Yeah. Price of one
is dependent on the other. Correct?
Yeah.
If that is the case, means you could also combine. Fine? Any confusion? Yeah. That's what we mean by price dependence of each other. Last one is both of them should represent single performance obligation. What is performance obligation? We'll study next. Leave this for the time being. Okay? That is in fact your second step only. Performance obligation is your second step. That I'll tell you in a bit. Keep this on hold. Is it okay? So tell me the 5 pointer now. What is the 5 pointers? You can combine the contract provided you are entering with the contract with the same customer nearly at the same time. These two should be satisfied. And any one of the following. And now what are those? One, they have negotiated as a package with the same commercial objective. Fourth, price of one depends on the price of the other or performance of the other. Last one, single performance obligation should be there. If these are there, means you could combine. Otherwise, you can't combine is what they are saying. Done?
Why are you combining, sir?
Huh? Why are we combining? Means like, for the accounting per se.
Okay.
Because if there is contract 1 means, you have to apply all the 5 steps of revenue recognition for contract 1.
Okay.
If there's contract 2 means you have to apply revenue recognition principle 5 steps for all the contract number 2. Correct? Should I apply all the 5 steps to individually to this contract 1 and 2, or can I collate it and apply the steps? Fair enough? It's avoiding the duplication of work. Basically. Fair enough? That's what we're trying to do here. Correct? No? Because you will see, why are we doing, actually you have asked a good question, but for that you need to know what is step number 2, what is step number 3 and all. Step number 3 will give you bari concepts. 2, 3 and all. So if you have to apply bari steps for each of the contract, it will be a little difficult. So if there is a scope to combine, then standard is given leeway that you combine only and account it easier. Because this also works in substance over form. Fair enough? So we'll see what is step number 2, 3 and all. Once you know that, you'll understand how actually combining makes more sense. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yes, so I hope you have studied. I mean, you know what is combining contract now?
Yeah.
Let's see how well you understood. That's all. Question number 2. Manufacturer of airplanes of Air Force, manufacturer of airlines for the Air Force negotiates a contract to design and manufacture new fighter planes. Box that. New fighter planes. Keep that word in mind, okay? For Kashmiri Air Base. Fair enough. We have negotiated one contract with the defense authorities that we will supply one fighter jet and we will give it to you at Kashmir Air Base. We'll deliver the goods there. At the same meeting, the manufacturer enters into a separate contract to supply the parts of existing planes. Existing planes. Underline that, box that. Supplying the parts of existing planes at other bases. Now you tell me, sir, this new plane and this existing parts of the old plane, are they same? Can their commercial objective be same, or they'll obviously have different commercial objective? Different commercial objective. Yes or no? Yeah. At other bases also. Check here, it's not even Kashmiri base. It's at other base. would these contracts be combined? So you tell me. For contract means combined means what are the 5 components? Again tell. Same customer. Yes, condition satisfied.
Yes.
At the same time, because they told at the same meeting. So first 2 conditions satisfied. Not only first 2, any of the following should get satisfied.
Yeah.
What are the any one of the following 3? What are those 3? One,
single commercial substance.
Negotiated as a package with same commercial objective. Here it looks like maybe you've negotiated at the same time, but do they have same commercial objective or do they have separate commercial objective?
Separate.
They have separate commercial objective. So condition number 3 failed.
Yeah.
Price dependency, correct? Have they told anywhere there in the contract that price of one is depending on price of the other?
No.
No, that means what? Manufacturing and supplying contracts are not dependent on one another.
Yeah.
Because one plane you are manufacturing, other plane ka part you are supplying. So are they same, sir? Are they dependent on one another, or it will run independently? That means they are not dependent also. Third one, performance obligation. They are not a single performance obligation. Okay, simple terms. Performance obligation means promise.
Okay.
What is promise in the contract? Okay. So here, how many promises are there? 1 or 2? Here, what are the promises in the contract? Manufacturer has given 1 promise or 2 promise?
2 promises.
What are the 2 promises?
To deliver fighter plane.
1 to give new fighter plane. 2 to give parts. Correct or no?
Yeah.
If you want to combine, it should not be 2 promises. It should be only 1. Single performance obligation. Here, it is not a single performance obligation. Hence, what is it? You can't combine. Instead, they should be accounted separately. How the accounting works, don't bother. Fine?
Okay.
Once we go for step number 5, you will clearly understand. Actually, when you hit step number 4 only, more or less you will get to know how the accounting runs. Done now? Got the funda of combining contracts?
Yeah.
Like this we will go. That is a funda. Are you okay with this?
Yeah.
Learning each concepts. No, if you feel, no, I have the capability to learn, I will just give you the meaning of it and keep moving on. How do you want it? Is this okay? Learn everything off here only in the class?
Yes, sir.
It'll take some more time. But if you do it like this, you don't have to go home and again sit.
Yes, sir.
You just have to go home and revise. Half an hour if you revise, all the concepts will tak come. And you have to remember the keywords here. Because case study will be like this only. From 2 marks to 10 marks, there is a scope of this particular topic. 2 marks mean these sort of questions. 8 to 10 marks means we'll follow further. 8 marks means I think you know what they'll ask. From step 1 to step 5. They will ask everything. So that like that. Fair enough? So there is a scope. Alright, can we go for the next?
Yes.
Next is contract modification. Modification means what, sir?
Change in terms.
Some change in terms. Fair enough? So they have also brought in some, when can you call a contract has been modified? They say contract is modified provided 3 conditions are satisfied. Or provided 3 features are there. Everything you will find my features here. Okay? That's the reason memory game the standard is. So if 3 conditions are satisfied, you could say contract has been modified. Work out there, no?
No, sir.
No. You want me to wait? Let me know if you have to wait. If you want to jot down anything, I'll wait up. It's okay? No?
Yeah.
Good? Can I?
Yeah.
Okay. You can say contract has been modified provided 3 conditions are satisfied. 1, there is a change in the scope, price or both in the contract. The scope of the contract should have changed, or price of the contract should have changed, or both. And the change should have been approved by both the parties or all the parties in the contract, and the change must be enforceable. Is it okay?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you get the 3? What is the first
all
one?
3 should be satisfied.
Huh?
All 3?
All the 3, yes. If all the 3 are satisfied, then we can say that as a contract has been modified. Otherwise, no modification. All the 3. You can write and there. Fine now. What are those 3 you said, sir?
Scope, price, both change.
Scope slash price change is 1. We'll write in short words. Okay. Scope slash price change is 1. Or both, can I say? Okay, no problem. I think if we write like this, you'll understand. Yeah. Scope slash price change. Second one is what? Agreed. Whatever the change is, that should be agreed by all parties.
Yeah.
Agreed by all parties. And last one, this change should be legally enforceable.
Yeah.
So if they're agreed means it will be enforceable only, no? Not necessarily. Suppose there was a liquor contract between 2 guys. 2 parties said, give me 1,000 units of particular liquor. Suddenly government banned liquor. And you modified. From 1,000 you modified it to be 1,200 now. Instead of 1,000 bottles, now we'll supply 1,200 bottles. That is change because the scope has increased.
Yeah.
Earlier the scope was only to supply 1,000 bottles. Now the scope from 1,000 has become 1,200. Correct? So it's a change. And it's agreed by both the parties also, or all the parties also. But can you legally enforce it?
No.
No, because government has put a restriction on the sale of liquor products now.
Yes.
So all the three should be satisfied. Then only we could say contract has been modified. Fine now. And contract modification can come in various forms, like increasing the scope. Scope means what? Earlier, let's say the contract was to supply 1000 units. Now the contract has been modified. The 1000 units you will supply in 6 months was the contract, sir. Or 1000 units every month. 1000 units you will supply every month for 6 months was the contract. Done. After 3 months they said you have to supply me 1200 units. Can I say this has been this is what now? Earlier the scope means what? Earlier the scope was to supply 1000 units.
Yeah.
Now the coverage is 1200. I mean scope has what?
Increase.
Scope has increased. This could be a modification. Or they could say supply me only 800 units. I mean scope could decrease. This is one way you can modify the contract. Or price. Earlier the price of one bottle was 900 or one unit was 900. Later they agreed that I will give you only 850 because market condition have fallen. Like Corona time now. Correct? Everybody is negotiating. Correct? Article is negotiating, CA firm is negotiating, business are negotiating. Yes, no, yes or no. Correct? So due to some change, the price is reduced. Fine? So that means what? Price reduction. There is also modification. Or price could also increase. Inflation is going on. Rate of inflation is higher side. Everything is raising. So that means we will also raise our product price. So price could also increase. Fine? Or it could be term also. Earlier the term was 6 months. Now after 2 months they said we will do the contract for only next 2 months. That means it will be 2 plus 2, 4 months. Correct? Or it could be increase in term. Okay, so all that we call it as modification, sir. It could come in any format. Fine? Okay, so this what is contract modification? So if the scope has changed. Scope means what, sir?
Quantity, period.
Quantity and period. Yes, I like the word. Either goods or quantity have changed. Goods or service has changed. That is the scope. Or term has changed. That is the scope. Fair enough? Either that change or price change. Fine? Or both. Both have changed. Such we call it as contract modification. And if it is legally enforceable and if it is agreed by all the parties, then only we call it as contract has been modified. Done? And modification can come in all these forms. Done now? Now the accounting per se. Can we go? Now from the accounting per se, should we treat this modification as a separate contract or should we treat it as old contract only and do the accounting? Did you understand the accounting drama? Earlier some contract was there. Now you modified and satisfies all the 3 conditions, modification conditions also. Now we are worrying whether that modified contract should be treated as a new contract altogether or should be treated as old contract only and do the accounting. Fine? That is the first point. Next point. Modification that constitutes separate contract. You have done a modification. Under which circumstance should you treat it as a separate contract? Fine? If you have to treat it as separate contract, there are 2 more conditions. So how much conditions are? Memory. You have to remember. Don't worry, it's not that easy. See, I'm able to tell means slowly you will also be able to get it. It's just a case of reading it, solving it, applying it. Will come to you. Yes, but easy. These topics are good. Why? Why these topics are good? If you remember the condition, chances of going wrong is very, very less. If you don't remember the concepts, probably you'll get 0 marks. But if you remember the concepts, out of 5, there is a good chance that you'll score 5 only. Fair enough? Because they can't alter too much in these sort of things. But when they give consolidation, business combination, when they give financial instruments and all this, there is a lot of scope to bring in a lot of adjustments. Okay, but here it's like a railway track. The railway track is very long. Okay, but if you are able to remember the length of it, you will be able to aram se take the journey. Like that these are. Hence, these concepts are quite good that way from examination perspective. When you're studying, it may look like, but once you learn it, you feel like, these are the topics that actually helps you clear your examination. Fair enough? So hence, we will cover. No worry. Yeah. So I said what? Modification can be considered as a separate contract when 2 conditions are satisfied. What are those 2 conditions? There should be increase in scope. To modify the contract. How have you modified the contract? by increasing the scope of the contract, by bringing in, or I can just write, I'll write in short words, okay? 1. Scope increased by inserting new goods and service. Scope has increased by inserting new goods and service. Fair enough? Yes, this should be there. This is condition number 1. And, sir, if new goods and service is inserted, what will automatically happen? You tell me. Earlier, the contract was to supply 1000 units. Okay. Now, the contract has been modified saying you have to supply me 1200 units. Will I supply it at the same price? You tell me, sir.
No, obviously not.
Obviously, contract price, what will happen due to this change? What will happen to contract price?
Increase.
So, due to this, contract price will increase. That increase in the contract price reflects standalone price. Reflects standalone price of new goods service. Sir, what is this, sir? Tell you. Wrote trade and short term. If these two are satisfied, then you could say that a contract has been modified and the modification should be treated as a separate contract. What are these two again, sir? 1. Price or scope of the contract should have increased. By how? By inserting a new goods or service. You're writing, is it?
Yeah.
No, write it. No problem. By inserted or by inserting. Scope increased by inserting new goods or service, and increase in contract price reflects standalone price of new goods or service.
What is the second?
I'll tell you. I'll explain both. First, no, I should save. I forgot that system doesn't like me. Okay. Now it's okay. ಏನಪ್ಪ doubt too. Thambi is asking one doubt. What is Thambi's doubt? Sir, this I understood, sir. Earlier the contract was 1000 units. If now it has been modified by increasing the number of units. Here goods is increased, correct? Then we call it as what? Contract has been modified. Yes. Second one is what, sir? Okay. Second one, taking the same example. Earlier, how much was the units? 1000. Now it is how much? 1200.
Yeah.
That means you have inserted how many goods, sir? Or added how many goods? 200 units. Normally, I sell 200 goods for 90 rupees per unit. Normally, I sell this 200 units for at 90 rupees per unit. Now I have added this 200 units to my old contract.
Correct.
Now also, its price. Its price means whose price? This 200 units ka price is same. That is 90 only. Now also, its price is what? 90 only. Now read this line again. Since you have brought in new goods, contract price will increase. That increase in contract price reflects standalone price of new goods and service. Standalone means what? Separate, correct? If you sell this new goods at separately, at what price you would have sold? If you sold this 200 goods, 200 units separately, at what price you would have sold? 90, correct? Now also if you are selling at 90, we say the increase reflects standalone price. Meaning the increase in contract price is same as standalone price. That means what? Just for the namesake you have inserted. This is a new contract. Correct? No? Yes. So if that is the case, means you have to treat this modification as a new contract. If it is a new contract, what will happen, sir? Take this example, you tell me. Now there are totally 1200 units.
Yeah.
1000 units will be treated as contract number 1. And you will do the normal accounting which you have been doing. In this 200 units, you will treat it as contract number 2. And apply all step 1 to step 5 ka process again and do the account. Done now. This is what we mean by modification that constitutes separate contract. Yes?
Yeah.
A quick recap. Then we'll apply. What is it now?
First of all, we should increase the scope of the contract.
First of all, what is the funda we are trying to look at? When can modification be treated as a separate contract? You can treat modification as a separate contract provided two conditions are satisfied. What is that? Scope has increased. How? By inserting new goods or any service. Fine. 2.
that
The
increased portion ka price should be as same as its
separate.
separately if you're selling price, that is
Correct.
standalone price.
So since you've inserted new goods, so contract price will obviously increase.
Yeah.
That increase is the same as standalone price of the product. Correct? I mean, now also this 200 units you're selling at 90 only. Fair enough. Suppose this was not sold at 90, it was sold at 70 rupees. Then normally you sell it at 90. Since you inserted into this contract, you inserted it at 70. Now it doesn't constitute a separate contract because it does not reflect standalone price. Because you are selling it in the contract, the price is included as 70, but its standalone price is 90. They are differing. Correct? Now you can't say that it is a standalone price. Understood? Huh? Okay. Sir, service example, can you give one? You want service example?
Yeah.
PwC, your favorite firm. Yeah? Is giving, let's say, audit service to another client. Or maybe instead of, one moment, hang on. Audit may be a little difficult. Is giving due diligence. Let's say one company wants to take over another company for which due diligence audit is done by PwC. They send a proposal. It will take 200 hours. And I will bill you 50 lakh rupees. My commitment is I will spend 200 hours and I will bill you 50 lakh rupees. Some like new evidence came, sir, concerning the fraud in that company.
Okay.
New evidence came in, some like fraud was detected. Fair enough. So this we pointed out to our client. He said, do thorough audit for this, please. Fair enough. I said, okay, fine. But I have to spend another extra 50 hours for this. Correct? And this 50 hours, I will charge 10 lakh rupees. Got it? Now you tell me what has happened. What was the original contract was for? To supply to due diligence audit you'll have to do. And the original was 200 hours ka commitment and I will get 50 lakhs. Correct?
Yeah.
Now due to some new information, you're spending extra time. That means number of hours has increased. That means what? The scope of the service has increased. Correct? Now, should we treat these two as one contract or should we treat it as separate contract? That was a pointer, correct? So, if you have to, suppose, now the scope of the service has increased, correct? First condition is satisfied. Second one is what? You have to check normally for 50 service or 50 hours of these fraud service, how much do I charge? Normally, for 50 hours of this fraud audits, we charge, let's say, PwC charges 10 lakh only. Normally, they charge 10 lakh only. This time also, they've charged how much? 10 lakh. That means what? It reflects the standalone price. The increase in the contract price reflects the standalone price. Yes or no? Or maybe just check here. What is the total contract price?
60.
Total contract price is 60 lakh. Means from 50 it became 60. What is the increase?
10.
Increase is 10 lakh. What is the standalone price of this new service?
10.
Standalone price of new service is also 10 lakh. If this increase reflects standalone price, then we say, yes, it is a what? It is a separate contract. Done? Suppose no, standalone price is actually 15 lakhs. But just because it was my client, I've given him a discount. Now it does not reflect standalone price. Yes or no? Hence, you should not be treating it as a new contract. Like that. Understood?
Yeah.
Okay. Move on.
Yeah.
Okay. What?
Basically, there should not be any combo offer or something.
There should not be combo offer. You could say so. Yes. It's not that it should be 10 lakh. Pie to pie, it should not tally. Not like that. It should be, they should reflect the standalone price. Then they need to use the term there, same as standalone price. Check. Correct? No. The increase in contract price reflects, more or less it should be same. What is more or less? Common sense. Fair enough? Maybe. We here instead of charging, normally we charge 10.5 lakh. This time I gave 10 lakhs. More or less same. Like that. What is more or less? As I've been saying, not defined. You have to use your common sense there. There it is a little subject to practicality. Good way. Fine, huh?
Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. What section is this? When should we treat modification as a new contract?
Separate contract.
Now, all other modifications will come under no new contract. We will continue with the existing contract. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Actually, write a small chart for this. Write a small chart. Okay, I'll write it here only. Modification that does not result in separate contract. Modification that does not result in separate contract. If it is for distinct goods service, or you can write modification is for distinct goods / service, then cancel the old contract and account it as new contract. Cancel the old contract and account it as new contract. No, if it is not for distinct goods and service, meaning else, you will do something known as cumulative catch-up accounting or cumulative revenue catch-up accounting. Copy the chart, we will explain. We have 2 questions on this also. We'll cover.
Yeah.
Finished now? Alright. So we saw already, if the modification, if it result into a new contract, then last scenario we saw, if there is increase in the scope of the contract and if it reflects increase in contract price reflects standalone price, treat it as a new contract. Correct? That means old contract will run normally like that. Parallelly, new contract also will run. 2 contracts will run in that case. Yes? If that is not the case, means what? Modification that does not result into separate contract. In that case, what you have to do is, you have to check whether that modification is related to distinct. Distinct means separate. Okay? Distinct / separate goods for service. If it is related to separate goods or service, then you treat it as old contract has been cancelled and new contract has been brought in. Getting the difference between previous and last one? In the previous one, you are not cancelling the old contract. Old contract also is running. New contract also will run. Here, what are you doing? Old contract you will cancel and only new contract will come in. Fair enough? Okay. I mean, in these sort of modification, only 1 contract will be there. In the previous sort of modification, there will be 2 contracts. Getting the difference? Yeah. If it is not for distinct goods or service, meaning else, then you do something known as cumulative catch-up accounting. Done? First, we will do this. Then we'll come back to that. Done? Okay. We'll understand this through numbers, maybe. Come to question number 4, sir. Or one moment, hang on. I think not question number 4. Come to question number 5 first. Then we'll do question number 4. Question number 5. You've copied the chart, no? Yeah. Okay. Growth Limited, they entered into an arrangement with the customer for infrastructure outsourcing deal. Maybe. Infrastructure means you could call it as building. Yeah. For our understanding, let's say it's a building construction contract. So construction contract means we should apply AS5, AS7 or AS9. So no AS7, no AS9. It is India's 115 combo. Correct? It covers construction related contracts also and normal goods and service contract also. It is covered here. Fine now? So let's say you're constructing a building, sir. Assuming. Yeah? Based on the experience, Growth Limited determines that customizing the infrastructure will take approximately 200 hours in total to complete the project. So some building ka customization they're doing. Building is already there. You're doing some customization. Some changes you're doing. Yeah? And charges 150 rupees per hour. So commitment is what? Service commitment. Here we're not providing any goods. We're providing a service. Yeah. So some labor service we are giving. Okay. So we are saying 200 hours we will provide and we will charge 150 rupees per hour. Yeah. Yes. So I will just write the numbers quickly. Earlier it was 200 hours, rate per hour and amount. Okay. How much was the rate per hour, sir? Rate per hour was 150. So that means, can you tell me how much will be the amount? 30,000. Correct? No? Yeah. 30,000. Okay. This was our original contract. Yes? Yeah. Let's see what happened next. After incurring 100 hours, meaning after spending 100 hours, Growth Limited and customer agreed to change an aspect of the product. They agreed to modify something. and increase the estimated labor hours by 50 hours. Yes, at a rate of 100 rupees per hour. Determine how contract modification should be accounted.
Scope is changed.
One, the moment modification has come, first your mind should think what? Sir, whether the modification should be treated as separate contract or should be treated as new contract? Yes. First, if you want to treat it as separate contract, two conditions should be satisfied. One, the scope of the work should have increased. By either new goods should have come in or new service should have come in. Here new service has come by 100 hours.
Yeah.
Correct. Actually, new service is not coming. Some customization is happening. No problem. We'll treat it as a new service only. Yeah. Second one is what? The increase in price should reflect what? The standalone selling price. Correct. First of all, you're not increase. You're like, you look at the standalone price. At what price? You're providing 50 hours at what? Additional 50 hours you're providing only at 100 per hour. Have they given standalone price of the contract? Have they given standalone price of this 50, sir? No. That means you will treat this as what? Since absence of data, we'll treat it as other modification. Got it? It does not result into separate contract. We'll have to do something else for this. Done now? You got to know how we ruled out the other one? How did we rule out?
We are making an assumption.
You're making an assumption, yes. And it's not for a distinct goods or service also here. Fine? New good or service should have come in. New service. Frankly speaking, here you're not giving new service as such. Some few things have changed. Because of that, your number of hours is increasing. It's not a new thing altogether. On that ground also, I could say this better. The second wala fits in here. Correct? Practicality, but yeah, second one fits in much better. Understood this? Okay, so that means I'll have to go back to my chart. I'll have to go back to my chart. Let's see here, sir. Or maybe I'll bring in the additional pointer. So there is a modification has happened. What is the modification now? I will not give 200 hours. I will give extra 50 hours. And for this 50 extra hour, am I charging 150 or am I charging only 100?
Only 100.
That means how much money I will get? 5,000? Correct? So you tell me here, sir, how much is the total number of hours we are spending on this project? 250 hours. How much is the total revenue I'm getting? 35,000. That means can you tell me per hour how much is my charge? How do you get per hour ka? 35,000 totally I am getting for 250 hours. That means for 1 hour how much am I getting is what I'm asking. How much is that? 250, which is 140. Yes or no? Are we okay? Yes.
Yeah.
Are we okay, sir?
Yeah.
Alright. How this revenue accounting should work is now point number 1. You already provided 100 hours, sir. They said after incurring 100 hours, the modification came in. Yes. 100 hours is incurred means you would have recognized revenue for it.
Yeah.
So revenue recognized is how much? You provided 100 hours. This was before modification. Before modification, how much is per hour you're charging? 150? 100 hours at 150 per hour. That means how much you have charged? 15,000 rupees. Yes? Yes or no, sir?
Yes.
Correct. Revenue to be charged. Or maybe it's okay. Can we just directly follow here? Okay, or maybe since I've already written. Okay, revenue to be charged. Is there actually rate 150 per hour now, sir? Or is it 140 per hour?
140.
This is what we mean by cumulative accounting. You're getting only 35,000 and 35,000 you're getting for 250 hours. That means each hour you should have recognized the revenue at 140 per hour. That means the revenue should have been charged as 100 into 140, which is 14,000. Yes or no? Correct? You have already booked 15,000. There is a difference. How much is that difference? 1,000. That you have to adjust your revenue. Revenue to be adjusted or revenue to be reduced is 1,000 rupees. This is what we mean by cumulative catch-up accounting. Understood, Tirupati Toss? Just give me a minute. Observe that and then tell me. Or maybe once I'll give you a quick overview. Right now we are billing at 150. It's you modified the contract. Correct? Can I treat this as a separate contract? No. Correct? That we have ruled out. That means what? You have to adjust your old contract only.
Yeah.
How the adjustment works is, first you have to find out the total revenue that you're going to get out of this contract after modification. And find out the total number of hours that you're going to spend on this contract. Total revenue is 35,000 and total hours is 250. That means each hour you should have billed 140.
Yeah.
But before modification, are you billing 140 or did you bill 150? You billed 150. That means how much is the revenue you already recognized? 15,000. But actually revenue should have been booked only at 140 rupees per hour.
Yeah.
That means you have charged, revenue should have been charged only at 14, but you charged 15. That means you should reduce your revenue by 1,000 rupees. Or journal entry, P&L account debit to revenue 1,000. That's all. Getting it? Yes or no, sir?
Yeah.
And later on, for your reference if you want. Later, let's say 150 hours was provided. 150 hours, you will charge how much per hour? Because 100 hours already gone, no? Remaining is 150. And 150 hours, you will charge 140. How much is 150 into 140?
21,000.
150 into 140 is 21,000. Correct? You booked the revenue initially how much? 15. Now you reduced it by 1. That means the revenue you are showing at 14. 14 plus this 21 is how much, sir? 35,000. That's how accounting will be done. This nature of accounting, we call it as cumulative catch-up accounting or adjusting the revenue. Correct?
Yeah.
Understood? Full Tirupati tasa goita. Check.
This modification for distinct goods or services?
It is not for distinct goods or services. I'll tell you how it is. I'll give you an example for that. Don't worry. Yeah? When it can be a distinct good or service, I'll give you. Previous question number 4 will come. Then I'll tell you for that. Did you understand this? Understand the working you understood?
Yeah.
Yes?
But why the working?
Why the working is, you have done a modification, no, sir? Because of the modification, things are changing, correct? And this change, you can't account it as a separate contract because it doesn't fit into that separate contract wala conditions. Yes? That means you have to adjust in this contract only.
Yeah.
So this is how one sort of adjustment is recommended. Now logically you think, sir, since you're modified now, is modified resulting into resulting into new contract or the same as new contract now? Or same as old one? It's same as old. Correct? It is not a new contract, means it is old one only running.
Yeah.
Now old contract, you tell me, does it require 200 hours to satisfy old contract now, or does it require 550 hours more? That means total hours required is 250.
Yeah.
And total revenue you're getting how much? Earlier you used to get 30, now you're getting 35. Correct, no, sir? Earlier you were getting 30,000, now you're getting 5,000 extra. That means you're getting 35,000. That means my every hour billing should be what? 35,000 divided by 250, which is what? 100 and how much did we get? 140 per hour you should have booked. If you booked more means we have to adjust our revenue. If you booked less means we should increase our revenue. That's what we call it as cumulative catch-up accounting. Fair enough? Yes, so this is one way of adjusting. That's what we do it. You're not getting it still? Or maybe I want to be like 100% sure. I'll give you another scenario. I want you to solve that. Yeah?
Sir, can you show the solution once in this topic?
This one? The one I've written
Yeah.
here? Okay. This is revenue recognized. This is just for your reference I told, okay? In future, how it works. This is just in future.
So we'll restate our revenue based on the current average.
Correct. You restate your revenue. You could say that. Yes, you restate the average based on you restate the revenue based on the average price. Find out the average price and restate the revenue. That's what we call it as cumulative catch-up accounting. Yes, that is a lot easier. You can remember it like that. Fine? Basically, cumulative catch-up means adjusting the revenue. Fine? Adjusting means it could be increase or it could be decrease. Either ways. Okay. So, I'll just give you another scenario. Solve this for me, okay? Original terms, okay? 100 hours for 1 lakh. 10 hours added for 20,000 rupees. For 20,000. You have to do cumulative catch-up accounting for me here. Directly I'm giving you the cumulative catch-up. Okay. You have to tell me, or one moment, hang on. 100 hours for 1 lakh. 40 hours. 40 hours work done. 40 hours work is completed. Fine. 10 hours is added now. After 40 hours work was over, no, 10 hours is added. Since you are adding 10 hour extra, we are charging 20,000 rupees more. Fair enough?
Yeah.
You have to do cumulative catch-up accounting. I'm only giving you that. This is a cumulative catch-up accounting means what? Can you treat the modification as a new contract or old contract only?
Old contract.
Old contract revenue you should adjust. You just have to tell me how, sir. Can you tell me how?
Yeah.
First, how many hours? 100 hours. Correct. Hours and amount. Correct. Beach may will bring in rate.
Yeah.
For 100 hours you're getting 1 lakh. That means for each hour, how much are you getting, sir? 1 lakh divided by 100 is how much? 1000. Yes. Now you inserted 10 hours more.
Yeah.
For what price? How much are you getting totally? 20,000.
Yeah.
Yes. That means the total number of hours will be 110. And total amount you're going to get is 1,20,000.
Yeah.
So 1,20,000 is for 110 hours. That means how much is the amount per hour? 1090. Can I treat it?
Yeah.
Can I treat it as 1091? Round it off. Are we okay with this? Just round off. Fine. So now you tell me what you should do. 40 hours of work is already completed. If 40 hours of work is completed means generally we recognize the revenue. There is a certain conditions for that also. I'm telling you that those conditions are satisfied for simplicity. So you tell me what should you do here. Revenue first. What do you have to write? Revenue recognized. How many hours work is over? 40. After 40 hours only this modification came.
Yeah.
I mean just 40 hours you would have billed it. You would have recognized it 1091 or 1000.
You would have
Recognized at 1000. That means how much have you recognized?
40,000.
40,000. Correct. But how much is the revenue to be recognized? Revenue to be recognized is now your per hour rate is 1000 or 1091.
091.
That means you should do what? 40 into 1091. How much is 40 into 1091 into 40 is how much, sir? 43,640. Yes or no? You have recognized the revenue of 40. It should be recognized at 43. That means you have to cumulative or adjustment in revenue or revenue to be increased. Correct?
Yeah.
To be increased by how much? 3640 rupees. This we call it as a cumulative catch-up accounting. Done now.
Okay.
Are we okay? Or confusion aagta hai kya?
Understood.
Understood. Now can we come back to the chart? Or you want to copy this?
Yeah.
Okay. Just one more reference I gave. That's it.
So this applies only for services.
No, for goods also.
So average price of goods will take.
Average price of the goods will take. Correct. How it works, I'll tell you through. We have some numbers for that. Okay. There you will know. With numbers it will come. But yeah, you could say average price of the goods you take and do the working. No problem. Fine.
In that case, here we have like 40 hours work done and all. Then what would we have?
Come again?
Here we have 40 hours work done.
Work done. 40 hours is over. Yeah.
In case of purchase of goods, there won't be.
I'll tell you how it works. Don't worry about accounting. Yeah. For simplicity, I said you can think like that. Just to bring little tasalli to your mind. Yeah. For now, don't worry about accounting first. I'll tell you how it works. There is one question also.
Same question I'm asking like.
I'll tell you how it works and through one particular example in the future. There you see. If it still remains, you just let me know. Okay. Normally, in such case, it'll be for a distinct good service. You'll not do this normally. Okay. But in terms of goods also, something can come. Cumulative adjustment can come. How that will come, I'll tell you through problem. Okay, na? That is what I meant. Fine. Because in the modification also there are two sectors. No, you forgot the chart. Other one. One, if it is for distinct goods in service, then what do? Cancel the old contract, bring in a new one. That one accounting you have to do. If it is else, you'll have to do this accounting. Cumulative catch-up accounting is done there.
It is not distinct goods.
Here it is not. Because there if you bring in new goods, distinct means separate goods, no? So if it is distinct goods, then you do slightly different accounting.
So else means new goods.
Else means, yeah, you could say like, new one. Else means like, just modification of the old goods.
Okay.
Distinct means new, sir. New separate goods or service, like that.
Yes, sir.
Done. Okay. All right. Can we go back to the chart again?
Yeah.
Okay. Whenever there is modification, again, just what do you need to check, sir? Whether that modification will result into new contract or no new contract. If it is no new contract, then you have to check whether it is for a distinct goods or service. If it is a distinct goods or service, then cancel the old one and bring in the new one. Otherwise, you do cumulative catch up. Correct? This portion we have already seen. Now, can we see this one? Modification is for distinct goods or service.
Yeah.
That we will go and solve question number 4 for it.
So when we say separate contract, also there is one place where there is separate contract. Now we are making a new contract.
Come again.
When we are saying there is no separate contract or a case.
No separate contract. That means this only. This one you are referring or previous one?
This one.
This one. Huh.
No separate contract. Yeah, that one.
What is your doubt?
So we are saying there is no separate contract, but then
you can't treat the modification as a separate contract. Fair enough. So what is the difference between old? I think you're getting confused with that. When modification is there, okay? If the modification satisfies, so 2 conditions. Fair enough. What are the 2 conditions? Scope has increased by what? Inserting new goods or service. Correct? And second one is what? The increase in the contract price reflects standalone selling price.
Yeah.
If that is the case, means you will treat the modification as a separate contract. Yes. If you treat this as separate contract, means 2 contracts will run parallelly. What are the 2 contracts? Old contract will run as well as new contract will come in. Yes. Are we okay?
Yeah.
If it is not a separate contract, then you have to check whether that modification is for a distinct goods or service. If it is for distinct goods and service, here what do you do is, here 2 will not run. Old contract was there, no, whatever existing, you will cancel that. Okay, and the new contract will be accounted. Getting the difference between this and this now? Here both will run, old and new. Here only one will run. Done. If it is not for distinct goods or service, then what do? You do cumulative catch-up accounting. That's what we have seen here. Yes?
Okay.
This is that chart. Okay. Does this make sense now?
Yeah.
Any doubt is still there? I can understand. Many new terminology is coming in. So obviously it will take a little time for us to also grab the things. Okay? So we'll go as slow as required here. No worries.
So make new contract for the modification.
I'll tell you. Don't worry. Question is there. Don't worry. This one I'm about to do the question for this. Yeah? This one only I'm about to solve now. Fine. I think we did do a question for this also, no? And it resulted in a separate contract. There was one question I kind of missed out. Okay, no problem. We'll do that also. Done?
Yeah.
Okay, have you copied this? Or are you copying this?
So here, just now what question we did?
Just the question we did, we applied this. Done? We have done a question based on this now. Done now? Now we're going to do a question on this.
So, but if we had to apply cumulative catch-up, then we had to have same type of rules, no? It says for distinct, cancel the old one, make a new one. It's good. But that means opposite will be for the same.
Opposite will be here, sir. Check. Okay, going back. I think you are thinking a little too much. No worries. We'll take it. Okay. You're building you're doing a modification of building. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes. Here, sir. You're doing in this question. Where is this question? This one. Yeah. You're just modifying the building. Let's say, or maybe there was a pantry on the left side. There is a restroom on the, let's say there is a pantry on the east side. There is a restroom on the west side of this building. Okay. And due to Vastu problem, they told change, swap the sides. So Vastu consultant and co, pantry should be only on the west side, restroom should only be on the east side. Vastu problem is that, change it. Yes. Due to this change, okay, initially we had already started the work and we had built 150. Correct? Now due to this Vastu problem, they've said do a small modification. We said no problem, it will take 50 hours for me extra. And I will now this 50 hours, I will bill 100 rupees per hour fee. Correct? Am I getting any new goods or service here, or it's the same building? I'm getting only one service here. What is the service? Service is to just modify the building. Yes or no? So I'm not getting any new service here. Correct? Distinct goods or service means new things should have come. If it is for new goods or service, or it should be unrelated goods and service, then what do? Cancel the old one, account new one. Fine. Here, am I getting any new service? Or it is still only one performance? Here, service means don't think on the number of things. But the promise, you go for one, promise here. Promise is 1 or 2 now. Just because I brought in 150 hours extra, is it new promise? No, that means modification. Matlab what? I had to refurbish the infrastructure building. That is a promise I made. Correct or no? That means performance obligation is still one. Think from the performance obligation side. It'll be easier. Yes, sir? Are we okay? Yes, that's what they're trying to say. Got it? Any confusion or still too much? Little confusing. Yeah? Little confused. Still there's a confusion? Understood. Tell me what you understood so that even I'm curious. How will you answer?
So normal modification, it could make a separate contract or it could not make a separate contract.
Correct. If it not make a separate contract, then?
If it is not making a separate contract, then you have to see if the modification is made for separate goods.
Separate goods or service.
If it is for separate goods or services, then you have to cancel the old one and totally make a new one. And if it is for same type of goods or services, then we still have to adjust the pre-existing arrangement by taking the average and then.
Perfect. Understood this? Okay. Can we go for this particular section now? One problem can we do so that you'll know what to do for this? Yeah? Yes. Okay. So now, which question is that? Question number 4. On 1st April 20x1, KLC Limited enters into a contract with Mr. K. You got the question?
Yeah.
To provide a machinery for 2.5 million and also 1 year maintenance service for 55,000 rupees per month. Yes, sir? Are we okay with this?
Yeah.
On 1st October 20x1, one moment, sir. What is the date of the contract? 1st April. And next, what are they saying? On 1st October? That means, can I say after 6 months?
Yeah.
After 6 months. So on 1st April, you agreed that give me a machinery, give me maintenance for that machinery. And maintenance you have to give me for 1 year and I will give you 55,000 rupees per month. Done? After 6 months, KLC Limited and Mr. K agreed to modify the contract to reduce the service amount, of services from 55,000 rupees per month to 45,000 rupees per month. So price there changing. Yes or no, sir? Is this first of all a modification? We'll go a little slow here. Is this a modification?
Yeah.
Yes. So the moment modification comes, you should think, should I treat it as a separate contract? Yes, I can treat it as a separate contract provided 2 conditions are satisfied. What is that? Scope should have increased. How can scope increase? New goods or new service should have come in. Correct? So here goods is not there. It's a maintenance contract. Goods is already provided already. Machinery I supplied on day 1 only.
Yeah.
Service I'm providing. Correct or no?
Yeah.
So how can the scope of service be increased, sir? Instead of 1 year maintenance, had they told now we'll make it 2 years maintenance, then the scope of service would have been increased. Yes or no? Here the scope is increasing, sir, or scope is decreasing? Or actually price changes there here.
Scope is not changing.
Scope is unchanged, correct? If scope is unchanged means can I treat it as separate contract? No, because condition 1 only failed. Yes or no? Since condition 1 has failed, can I treat it as a separate contract, sir?
No.
No, that means what? I have to do some adjustment with the old contract only, correct?
Yes.
Now you tell me logically, forget all the things what you have learned now. So now after 6 months, you have from 55,000, you have reduced the amount to 45,000. Done? Will KLC Limited, will the customer go back to KLC Limited and tell, give me 10,000 rupees for 6 months back? Because for the first 6 months, they charge 55,000 rupees for the service.
Yeah.
Is first 6 months over?
Yeah.
Did I give the service? It is completed? Yes or no? For the next 6 months, I'm charging only 45.
Yeah.
I mean, the price has decreased by 10,000, correct or no?
Yeah.
For the first 6 months, will we refund this 10,000 back, sir? Or service is gone? Gone. That means, can I say, look at this carefully, first 6 months service is distinct from next 6 months service? First 6 months service is separate from the next 6 months service, yes or no? Because am I going to refund this 10,000 rupees back, sir? 10,000 rupees per month an amount is reduced, correct? No?
Yeah.
So 6 months is already over. Have they told we will refund 60,000 rupees back? Or what did they say? On 1st October, we reduced the price. With retrospective application, did they mention anywhere there?
No.
Now means what? This first 6 months is a separate thing. Next 6 months is a separate thing. Yes or no?
Okay.
Or to give you a more relatable example, PwC is doing an internal audit. Okay, internal audit every month. And they were charging 1 lakh rupees per month. Okay, after 6 months, this contract was for 1 year. After 6 months, the price became 80,000 rupees per month. Will they refund this 20,000 back? What is the difference in price, first of all?
20,000.
Will they say, oh, since we reduce the price, the client will PwC refund 20,000 rupees per month for 6 months? That is 1,20,000. Will they give their money back? Or what will they tell? Look, boss, for 6 months I did the audit, correct? And I given you the report, for which you have given me the fees. Now we are changing the price, no problem. But this is for the next 6 month service. Yes or no? But in a contract we agreed that I will give you service for 12 months, correct? Now you tell me, will this refund happen? Will PwC refund this 20,000 rupees per month or no refund? No refund. Yes or no? That means the point I'm trying to make is the first 6 month service is separate from next 6 month service. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Correct? No? If you do first month ka vouching, can you say next month I will not do vouching because last month only I did off? Or every month you have to do? Every month you have to repeat the process. Yes or no?
Yes.
Because that means, can I say first 6 month service is separate from next 6 month service? Can I treat it like that?
Okay.
Are you okay with this confusion or okay?
Okay.
Now what did your chart say? Check, come back to the chart. If the modification is for separate goods or service, then what do? Cancel the old contract, amount accounted as new contract. That means what? Your old contract for 6 months is still pending. Correct? But that contract was for 55,000. Will that 55,000 run now or 55,000 is gone? Tripti toss. Cancel that. And now you do what? Account your revenue only at 45,000 rupees per month going forward. So did I adjust any revenue now? Sir, did I adjust any revenue? Because if you adjust the revenue, it looked like we are giving the refund back. In both my example, will the refund be given? No, logically nobody will give refund because what? First 6 month service we have already provided. Correct? No. Service you have provided means amount also we have collected. Correct? No.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's the reason here you can't do revenue catch up accounting. Did you get this? We can't adjust our revenue because things are over. Yes. That means that old contract ka 6 months was still pending. So cancellation does not mean whatever revenue you have recognized you do ulta. Cancellation means what? Old contract still has 6 months term pending. That portion you cancel now. You treat it as you entered a new contract for 6 months for 45,000 and do the accounting. ಈಗ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಇನ್ನೂ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಇದೆಯಾ?
So in that case,
first you tell me this, you understood? Whatever I'm saying, did you understand? Tell me that back to me once again just to be sure. Then we'll look at your pointer. What did I say now?
So since we are charging a separate amount here after 6 months.
First 6 month service is separate from next 6 month service, correct?
Yeah.
So that means that this 45,000 rupees is for a distinct service.
Yeah.
Since it is for a distinct service, we'll treat it as a new contract. But this new contract term will only be for 6 months. But old contract still has a term for 6 months pending.
Yeah.
Correct? That you feel that it is over. We already recognized the revenue of 55,000 rupees per month. How much revenue you recognized? 55,000 rupees per month. How many months over? 6 months. How much is 55,000 into 6? 3,30,000.
Yeah.
Treat that its revenue is 3,30,000 only and leave it at that. No further steps. Done? Now you will start recognizing the revenue at what? 45,000 rupees every month. If 1 month service is over, you will book 45,000. Second month service is over, again you will book 45. Like this. Are we okay? This is what we mean by cancelling the old contract and counting new one. Cancellation does not mean whatever revenue you booked earlier you reverse. No. Cancellation here means old contract still has some 6 months term pending. That you cancel and account it as fresh contract for 6 months at 45,000. Done? Yes? Now you tell me, 2 contracts are running here or only 1?
Only 1.
That means it is not a separate contract. Because in separate contract, old one also will run, new one also will run. Here only one is running.
Yeah.
Hence we treat it like this. Are we okay? This is what you need to check here.
So, but now also the scale the scale is only KLC is only providing annual maintenance of the machine, right?
Correct.
Means the service is not changing.
Service is not changing, but you're providing series of services. With this more, we'll concentrate when we go for performance obligation. You would have not asked this question had I covered that, but it's coming in next step, so I had to hold myself back there. Okay, you'll know what is that, what is the importance of that in a bit. Okay, still ask your question, whatever it is. If it is something I have to add means I'll add now only. Tell me.
So, I mean, it was 1 year maintenance, some 55,000 per month. So the service is not changing. Only thing that we are changing is pricing.
Okay, fine.
Then how is it distinct service?
How is it distinct service? Okay.
Yeah, so the condition says you have to have a distinct service to make a new
Condition I made that chart for your understanding. Okay, fine, no problem. Okay, if it is for distinct goods or service. Sir, here it is distinct service only. How? See the same example. Here, audit ka. Is one first month ka audit different from second month ka audit or it is same, sir?
In that case, first 6 months also, each month is different also.
Yes. Each one is separate. Correct. There are 12 promises here. In this contract, PwC, you have agreed for internal audit for 12 months. That means there are 12 promises here, which you have entered as one. Okay. You entered into a contract that I will give you audit service for 1 year. But each month you have to give a report. That means what is PwC promising here? Performance obligation is promise, correct? No? Each month I will give you a report, correct? That means there are 12 promises. That means you have to do 12 times accounting. That there is a leeway. They want that. You don't have to treat it as 12 performance obligation. You'll treat it as one. Why? I'll tell you in a bit. Next step. Are we okay? Very much yes. Here there are first 6 months is a separate promise. Next 6 months is a separate promise. There are totally 12 promises here. Actually, there are 12 performance obligation. But for accounting, we treat it as one. Why? Second, performance obligation is second condition. I'll tell you. That's why. It's for practical reasons. Anyways, I'll tell you that. Are we okay? You're going a little ahead of me. Yes, you're very much right. Fair enough. So here there are 12 different services. Okay, and first 6 months ka service has no impact on next 6 months ka service. Yes or no? How can I say they have no impact? Sir, if you had given the refund back, then I would say it has an impact. Correct? Now, am I refunding here? No. What will obviously PwC say? 6 months I gave report, no? Yeah. Correct? No, don't ask for refund and all. Correct? Going forward, we'll reduce the price. No problem. This is what practically also happens. Yes? Yeah. So, but original contract term was 12 months. Yeah. Did entire 12 months over or only 6 months over?
Only 6 months over.
That means a part of original contract is still remaining.
Yeah.
That you cancel is what the second modification is trying to say. That portion you cancel, treat the new contract at what? The remaining 6 months, however amount you are agreed on. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಫುಲ್ಲು ಚುಕ್ಕು 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 ಆಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾ Understood. You have to give me some modification has brought in a little bit of hula into our head. Okay, give me an overview or maybe one more question is there. We'll do one more question also.
Yeah.
Now question number 3 we had to do this ideally, no problem. We messed up the order also a little bit. Question number 3 also we'll take up. An entity promises to sell 120 products to a customer for 1,20,000. 120 products, sir. Underline the word 120 products. And the rate is 1,000 rupees per product.
Yeah.
Alright, next. The products are transferred to the customer over 6 months period. I mean the entire 120 we're not giving now. Installment we are sending. Maybe 20 rupees, 20 we are sending every month. Could be. Don't know. Yeah? Yes, move on.
Yeah.
The entity transfers control of each product at a point in time. This is the last concept. Step number 5. Ignore this for the time being. What is at a point in time? We'll cover later. After the entity has transferred control of 60 products. So in 120 May 60 we have already supplied. Okay. Risk and reward is the customer now. Yes. The contract is modified to require delivery of an additional 30 products. Sir, earlier contract was to supply how many products?
120.
Now we are adding 30 more. That means it became 150.
Yeah.
Yes. That means modification. Modification has happened. Okay. I think you're trying to get what I'm trying to say. Alright. I'll read off further. To a customer at a price of 950 per unit, sir. Earlier price was 1,000. Now we are supplying at 950.
Yeah.
Read the next line, which is very, very important. Which is the standalone selling price for such additional product at this time of placing the additional order. The additional products of 30 was not included in the initial contract, obviously. Because our initial contract was only for 120. So how do you account for the modified contract? You have to tell me now. First, you have to tell me which scenario is this now. First of all, is it modification?
Yes.
The moment modification comes, your mind will think on what? Should we treat modification as a separate contract? If you want to treat it as a separate contract, 2 conditions should be satisfied. 1, either new goods or new service should have come in. What is the original goods? 120.
Yeah.
Now how much goods has come? 30 goods have got added.
Yes.
That means what? Scope has increased by increasing new goods. Correct?
Yeah.
Second one is what? Due to new, since you have included new goods, will your contract price be same or it will increase? It has increased. That increase in contract price should reflect standalone selling price of the product. They have only told, correct? You are giving new product at 950 because at that point of time, its value is only 950.
Yeah.
That means what? It should be treated as a separate contract. Yes or no?
Yes.
That means old contract, you should not mess up. The way you are recognizing the revenue for old contract, it will still run. This 30 you will treat it as what? You have entered into a new contract and do the accounting. What accounting? Later, not now. I know. Okay. So understood that this is a separate contract. Yeah. So that's what they're saying here. Check. Accordingly, contract modification for the additional 30 products will be a new separate contract for future products and does not affect the accounting for existing contract. No? Yeah. And 950 rupees per product of the is for the new contract. That's it. Remember only this much, sir. How will you write this question if it comes in examination? How will you write this question if it comes in examination? For 3 marks they asked. How will you write?
So in here there is an increase in scope.
First you have to write modification separate contract a condition. 2 conditions were there. Yeah. Increase in the scope by adding new goods or service. Correct? Yeah. If you want to just give a shot. Modification will be treated. Modification will be treated as separate contract. Modification will be treated as separate contract. When there is a increase in scope, how should the scope increase? By bringing in new goods or service? Or goods or service should increase, can I say? Yeah. Alright, that is 1. 2, increase in contract price. CP can I call? Yeah. Should reflect standalone selling price? Yes. Should reflect standalone selling price of that particular additional product. If it is so, this contract will be treated as separate contract. That's what first definition you will write. And then you will write what? In the present case, 30 additional goods has come in and the pricing for that 30 goods is 950, which reflects standalone price of that product. Yes. Hence, this 30 product should be treated as a separate contract and it will not affect the accounting of the original contract like that. Dictate madla or okay. Okay, understood. So this part I think is very clear. Separate one, I think we don't have any confusion. Correct? Whether not next portion is what? If it is not a separate contract, such modification how should we account? Now we have to think whether that is for a distinct goods or service or else. If it was a distinct goods or service, then you have to do cumulative catch up, or rather you have to treat it as if it is a distinct goods or service, you have to do what? Cancel the old contract. Cancel the old contract means does not mean you will re-recognize the revenue. Whatever the term remaining of the old contract, that you cancel, treat that you enter into a new contract like that and do the accounting. Fine now? Yeah. If it is elsewhere, then you have to do cumulative catch-up while accounting. Cumulative catch-up means you have to adjust the revenue. Increase the revenue or decrease the revenue. Understood now? Yeah. Any confusion still there? No, sir. 2 marks, 3 marks it will come, not more than that. Yeah? Okay. Yes? Yes, sir? Yeah. Okay, so this is your step 1. Step 1 with this officially we have completed. I think we covered quite a bit. Let's do a thing. Let's have a quick recap and then we'll take a break for some time.
So one doubt.
Yes, sir.
In question number 5.
Done. 1 moment. Yes, sir.
Yeah, here actually we are adding extra time now.
Extra time you are adding, yes.
Which means scope is added.
Which one?
Which means scope is getting increased.
Scope, that's what, when they said over there, okay, fine, if you want to treat it as, here it's actually like little debatable. Yes, instead of 200 hours, it became 250 hours. So you're giving extra service. But they have not given standalone price also. Okay. And moreover, I've billed less also. That is another problem. Normally for 200 hours, I've billed 150. But for this 50 hours, I've billed only 100. I don't know whether this 50 hours ka billing is only 100 rupees or not. Whether it reflects standalone price or not, I don't know. Fair enough. Hence, they have not commented on it. Fine. You can assume in the examination, if it comes, okay, you can assume that or maybe you can give both answers. If it reflects standalone selling price, we will treat it as separate contract. Fine. Or else do this like this.
So,
but here, it's not a new service according to me. I think more relatable one is this only. Because in the previous one, remember, audit is a separate service, correct? No. Internal audit you're giving means first month report is different from second month report. Yeah. But here the promise was just to do one customization. So that means that has not changed. Correct? No. Suppose they told there was 2 floors of a building. Customize both. Correct? Now if the number of work has increased, or earlier it was only building ka first floor ka customization. Now they told customize second floor of the building also. Now you could say scope of service is increased. Fair enough. So hence I would probably say my suggestion is present like this only. 1, standalone selling price not given. 2, I wouldn't say service is really increased here. Because promise is only one. What is that only one promise? Customize the building for me and give. Correct? So that way, like, my scope of work is not increased is what I would say, sir. My personal call this is. Practically, I think this would work out. Yeah? Confusion or okay? All right. So can I, you have anything more to add on, or can we have a quick recap of things we have had now so far? We can have a quick recap. Okay. First, what did we discuss?
First, what is
there are a 5 step. We are covering India is 115. I think that we remember. Revenue from contract with customers. In that there are 5 steps. We looked at first step completely now. First step is to identify the contract. Contract means what, sir?
Agreement between 2 or more parties.
It's an agreement between 2 or more parties which creates enforceable rights or obligation. Fine? Yes. So if you have to call something as a contract, then 5 conditions should be satisfied. What are those? A, R, P, C, C. Correct? A means what? Parties should agree to the terms and conditions. And they should agree that they will perform their obligations. That is A. R is what? Rights associated with the contract in relation to goods and services. You should be able to identify. P is for the payment terms. How much is the payment terms for that goods and service? You should be able to identify. Yes. ARP. C is for contract should have a commercial substance, meaning cash flow because of this contract should change for both the parties. Yeah. Last one. Consideration ka collection. It should be highly probable that you will collect all the consideration or substantially all the collections. Fine. These 5 are satisfied means we say it satisfies the definition of contract. Done? Okay. Then what did we cover? One moment. Let me just project it off also. It'll be easier. Okay. Contract term. Contract term means generally contract term is the one that is mentioned in the contract. Contract term is the duration. Whatever duration is mentioned in the contract, that itself is contract term. Yes. But sometimes contract term could be lesser. Especially when either of the party have an option to cancel the contract without paying any penalty. In the gym example, correct? Though the contract term was 12 months given, but we took contract term was only 3 months. Why? Because after 3 months, customer could cancel it without paying any penalty. Hence, we treat it as contract term. Possible? Okay?
Yeah.
Alright, this is what we learned. Next is combining contract. Combining contract means what is a funda? If there are multiple contracts, should we treat them as separate contract or should we treat them as one contract? Correct? Should we join them as one in account or should we treat it separately? You can join them as one or you can treat them as one, provided 5 conditions are satisfied. First 2 compulsory and any one among the 3. First 2, it should be entered with the same customer nearly with the same time. And one of the following. And what is that one of the following? It should be negotiated as a package with same commercial objective. Correct? Or what? The price of one depends on the price of the other or performance of the other. If one you cancel means second one also will get automatically cancelled. Like that. Okay. Price of one depends on the price or performance of the other. Last one. Single performance obligation. Meaning single promise it should be. It should not be multiple promises. It should be single promise. For the time being, understand like that. Okay? If these are satisfied means you could combine. Otherwise you will treat it separately. Yes? Okay. Then we came into the most hula part, which is modification. Okay. Contract modification means what? Altering the terms. So you can say that the contract is modified provided 3 conditions again are satisfied. What are those 3 conditions? 1. The scope should have changed or price should have got changed or both. Correct? And this change should be approved by all the parties in the contract. And change should also be enforceable. If these 3 are satisfied means you can say that the contract has been modified. Modification could come in various forms like new goods added, new service added, or goods reduced, correct? Time increased, time reduced, price increased, price reduced. All this we can treat it as contract modification. Now the moment modification comes, what will your mind think? Should I treat it as a separate contract or should I merge it with the old one? Correct? When will you treat it as a separate contract? 2 conditions again are satisfied here. What are those 2 conditions? 1. The scope should have increased. How can the scope increase? By bringing in new goods or service. 1 is that. Correct? And 2. Since new goods or service has been inserted, contract price also will change. That increase in the contract price should reflect the standalone selling price of the goods. Correct? If these 2 are satisfied, both of them are satisfied means then we treat such modification as a separate contract. Meaning old contract will not touch. Whatever is running for old, let it be. New contract may, we'll apply those 5 steps of revenue recognition again and do the accounting. Done, na? If it is not a separate contract, then we'll see if modification relates to distinct goods or service. Correct? If it is for a distinct goods or service, like we saw here, maintenance service. First 6 months maintenance is separate from next 6 months service. Correct? If that is the case means what?
Yeah,
Then
so
what?
like,
Cancel the old contract, bring in the new one. Cancellation does not mean whatever revenue we have recognized we will reverse. No. Cancellation here means what? Whatever the term remaining was the old contract, or what are the terms remaining for the old contract, that we will cancel. And what? We'll treat that new term is the new way forward anta account ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. Yes sir. This is one. And next, if you feel no, it is not for a new goods or service. This one building, you're doing a small modification. Instead of 100 hours, it became 120 hours. That means new service is not being inserted here. The promise is still to modify one building, correct? No. So it is not for a distinct goods or service means what? Then what do we do? You have to do something known as cumulative catch-up accounting. Fine? Meaning revenue should be adjusted. How does the revenue adjust? First, we will take what? The original hours. And we'll take original rate.
Yeah.
Yes. Then you'll get the original billing.
Yeah.
With that, what do you do? Take the new... Where did it go?
You take the average of original and new put together.
Yeah, basically you have to find out the weighted average, can I say?
Yeah.
You just have to find out the weighted average rate now, and revenue should be accounted using that weighted average rate. Fine? Yes. So here in our example, weighted average rate was 43,000, but you had accounted only 40. That means you have to increase the revenue here in this example, correct? It could be increase in revenue or it could be decrease in revenue. That change in revenue, we call it as revenue catch-up accounting. Fine now? This is all we have done so far. Yes?
Yeah.
Alright. So let's take a...
So can we take one more problem for this catch-up, revenue catch-up?
Revenue catch-up will come. The next problems will come. This is not good enough?
Like one more, sir, for clarity.
For one more for clarity, I just have to modify this. No, that's all.
Okay. No, I understood the process, but only the what are the different ways in which this revenue catch-up will apply?
Revenue catch-up, that's what. They won't ask such easy revenue catch-up. All these are very easy. What you have to do, they'll give you two components. It's like treated as weighted average cost, inventory valuation. Earlier, 100 quantities of inventory at 1 lakh rupees. Correct? Now, 10 quantities of inventory at 20,000 rupees. How do you find out weighted average rate? Take original. You'll have to do that. Summation of weight. That's what you used to find out, no? In CPT. Summation of what? Weighted cost divided by summation of weighted quantities. Find out that rate. That you got it as 1091 here. Apply that rate for revenue recognition. How much our work is over? How much work is over here? 40. So apply that weighted average rate for 40. So 40 into 1091 will be how much? 43,000. So this is the revenue that should be recognized. But 40 hours already over means 40 hours you would have already recognized at old rate. Old rate was 1,000 or whatever that it was. Correct? The difference between these two, we have to adjust our revenue.
So basically by adding the 10 hours, we are making the previously done work also retrospectively.
Correct. Because this 10 is not a separate service. We are treating this as separate, this as part of the old one. If this was actually, see, check here. If this was not 100 initially, if this was 110, that means would you have recognized the revenue 1,000 or it would be a different amount? Different amount. That's what we are thinking here. Fair enough. Because here you're modifying the same building, sir. Had they told new floor of the building got added, then you could say it was a new service. Here that is not the case. Yes or no? That means it is not for a distinct service. It is for the same service. Hence you have to adjust your revenue. Okay, that is accounting here. Funda is okay? Yes? So this sort of simple problem they will not ask. Next it will come in one concept. There they will ask cumulative catch-up accounting. We will see there. That is a good question. All these are easy. Still you want means I will make up one question. You want Understood? Tell me what you understood since you specifically asked for it. How do you do your revenue catch-up accounting? First, tell me the process. First you will take original hours.
The process is understood, sir.
This process is okay.
Then to apply only the process. So what I understood is that if we are making any changes and that changes is in such a way that it is part of the entire process.
Okay, you mean to say how can this be merged into the old one? The other part. Like that institute has a lot of liberties. Like here only I told. If here the building, if it was for building a second floor. Earlier only building had only one floor. Now it is for second floor means obviously new service. Okay. Earlier it was only for audit service. They approached. Now they are asking, give us some corporate governance report also. Fair enough. That means is the audit report and corporate governance report same, sir, or it's a new one? So separate service. So that means that case what you have to do. Like that. Like that institute has a lot of liberty. We can't do into all permutations and combinations. Fair enough. Conceptually I can tell you, permutations little difficult to cover. We'll see. But even these are basic questions. I don't think so institute will ask such basic questions.
Okay.
There is a better way to ask revenue catch-up accounting. That I'll tell you. I don't know whether you've done it in our IPCC, but yeah, It's part of the IPSC concept though.
Okay.
Okay, now are we fine with this, or still some question?
Understood.
Understood. Okay. So can we take a small break and resume then?